You have surely heard the phrase before that celebrities are people just like us, though there are a few obvious flaws with this perception. Regular people don't have millions of pounds, receive gold statues for doing their jobs well, and aren't followed in the big food shop by dozens of people with cameras. But at least one part of the sentiment rings excruciatingly true. Celebrities believe a lot of really dumb shit, just like us. No, it's true. We are one and the same in the most important way that matters. We're passionate about underground cannibals, spacefaring aliens, and reptiles that wear human skin. Because the government is never going to let us in on the real secrets of the world, so we've got to figure them out for ourselves. I am the alien mythology specialist, Ash from WhatCulture Music, and these are 8 songs that perpetuate crazy conspiracy theories. And just before we begin, don't forget to check out the link in the description to the relevant Spotify playlist so that you can listen along to the video. Oh, how nifty! 8. Fleetwood Mac, Lizard People. Mick Fleetwood believes some pretty weird crap. Well, perhaps believes is a strong word, but he certainly isn't afraid to purport some otherworldly ideas with great vigour. For instance, he's a big fan of famous author and human hemorrhoid David Icke, whose collected works make the Harry Potter series look like pure non-fiction. Fleetwood has gone on record saying he loves Icke's book, The Biggest Secret, which, in Fleetwood's own words, proves there are power structures that have been controlling the planet for longer than you or I realise. One of his overarching theories is that there is a race of human extraterrestrial reptile hybrids known as the Babylonian Brotherhood. These lizard people aim to rule the world using the rings of Saturn and the moon as their power source, naturally. It should be noted that Fleetwood Mac's Lizard People, a B-side to 1990s In the Back of My Mind, is one of the only songs to feature Mick on lead vocals. Likely because no one else in the band felt comfortable singing about a shape-shifting reptilian humanoid that controls the world with any sort of earnestness. 7. Kanye West, Heard Him Say. During Live 8, a concert tour designed to raise awareness about AIDS, Kanye West decided it was the perfect opportunity to drop some real knowledge on the Philadelphia crowd. See, it turns out that AIDS is a man-made disease that was, and I am heavily air-quoting here, placed into Africa just like crack was placed in the black community to break up the Black Panthers. That myth, which has been fervently debunked, left the crowd exasperated and more than a little confused. People had a lot of questions about Yeezy's statement. Questions like, does Kanye realise where he is right now? And how does the government even benefit from putting AIDS into Africa? And does Kanye really understand what AIDS is? Yeezy reiterated this wildly misinformed theory on a track from his standout sophomore album, Late Registration. Heard Him Say did fine on the charts, though it is far from being one of his greatest hits. One can't help but wonder if the track's mediocre legacy doesn't have something to do with this bizarre lyric. I know the government administered AIDS, so I guess we just pray like the ministers say. Then again, maybe Kanye didn't write that line at all. Maybe the government inserted it into his song without his knowledge. 6. Megadeth, Hangar 18. For those who haven't performed extensive research, i.e. sleuth from hundreds of alien conspiracy forums in the wee hours of the morning, it should be noted that the titular Hangar 18 is said to be the secret containment centre where the US government hides the aftermath of alien encounters. Dave Mustaine, guitarist and lead singer of thrash metal band Megadeth, knows this to be true and exposed the conspiracy in the Grammy-winning song Hangar 18. Mustaine joins fellow musicians Sammy Hagar, Robbie Williams and Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 in his beliefs. And while there is nothing inherently far-fetched in considering the existence of extraterrestrials, Mustaine kicks it up a notch by insisting Earth has already been visited by alien beings and that the government is hiding them in a secret storage facility. UFOs have crash-landed, alien species have tried to make contact, but the pesky government continues to cover it up. Ain't that always the way? 5. Beck, Chemtrails. Have you ever looked up to the sky as an aeroplane flies over and noticed the little cloud-like trails they leave behind them? Those are called contrails and are a result of condensation left behind by the plane's engine exhaust. Not everyone is satisfied with this explanation, however, as some believe those trails are actually the result of the army aeroplanes spewing vicious chemical agents into the air to either A. brainwash the general populace, B. test military weapons, or C. create global warming. Over a late-period Beatles soundscape, everyone's favourite musical Scientologist expresses a vague belief in the notion of chemtrails, but avoids citing any specifics on the matter. Bex remained mostly tight-lipped about which side of the conspiracy theory he belongs on, as he does with most things, but it is hard not to cry a little inside whilst thinking of the genius musician sitting at home leafing through old copies of Weekly World News, trying to find some evidence to support his lyrics. 4. Korn, Illuminati. Several prominent musicians have been accused of sacrificing their souls to a powerful cabal that supposedly controls who gets a taste of success in the entertainment industry. Some of these musicians have even felt compelled to write songs denying their involvement, like Jay-Z and Madonna, just to name a couple. And then there is Jonathan Davis. You remember him, don't you? He was the dreadlocked voice of angst in the late 90s and lead singer of nu metal pioneers Korn. Davis is not a member of the Illuminati, and honestly, he seems pretty bummed about that. That's probably why he chooses to attack those who are more successful than he is by connecting them to the secret society. Korn's attempt at dubstep, 2011's The Path of Totality, features a track that outs the Illuminati as a superpower that has corrupted the government beyond repair. But this wasn't his first public criticism of the Illuminati. Weeks before his new album dropped, he accused President Barack Obama of using Miley Cyrus and a pop star ilk to distract the public from what's going on in America and abroad. Davis also claimed the old president is an Illuminati puppet himself. 3. The Misfits Bullet. I guess we're all familiar with the various Kennedy assassination conspiracy theories by now, right? If you're not, I highly recommend Googling that phrase and spending several hours poring over the innumerable opinions about what really happened that day in Texas. One name that is bound to pop up in a lot of those crackpot ramblings is Glenn Danzig, former lead singer for horror punk group The Misfits, who wrote a song about his theory back in 1978. Forgoing the alternate gunmen theory, which was more popular and more plausible, Danzig instead posited that certain prominent citizens of Texas had hired Lee Harvey Oswald, and probably someone else to escape capture, to murder the President of the United States. Why? Because they were tired of their hometown boy, Lyndon B. Johnson, playing second fiddle as vice president. There's also an implication that LBJ was involved in the assassination attempt in some way as well. Then again, considering this song also makes references to Jackie Kennedy's blowjob abilities, maybe we shouldn't take his proposed scenario too seriously. 2. Star Hipsters. 9/11 was an inside joke. It may be unfortunate, but there are plenty of 9/11 truther songs that have popped up over the years, although most of them were written by amateurs with quick access to a Casio and a green screen. Star Hipsters, however, is an actual band, something of a supergroup in fact, comprised of members from various hardcore punk bands. It's not exactly rare for a punk band to write controversial political songs, but this one is more than a little insane. Not only do the Star Hipsters fail to grasp how brackets work, but it seems the group is also aggressively paranoid and equally misinformed about world events. See, those attacks weren't orchestrated by members of Al-Qaeda, but by the American government instead. Like all of the American government, according to the expansive name-checking that the song goes through. Anyone who claims that the terrorist attacks of 9/11 were an inside job would probably be quick to point out that Bigfoot is currently being dissected at Roswell by Dr. Shakur and Presley as well. 1. B.o.b, Flatline and Flatline 2. That's right, rapper b.o.b has written not one, but 2 songs based around his utterly insane belief that the world is flat. You probably heard about his Twitter rant that even contained photographic evidence that the world was most definitely flat. That evidence, in case you were wondering, involved him pointing to a mountain in the background and basically saying, "See, there is no curve in my picture, please buy my albums." Fearing that his message wasn't getting out to the decidedly pancake-like world as much as it needed to be, b.o.b decided to write a couple of songs about it. And it is pretty hard not to imagine him wearing a tinfoil hat whilst writing the lyrics. It's not just a flat earth conspiracy he's peddling in the Flatline saga either. In the first song alone, he mentions lizard people, clones, claims Neil deGrasse Tyson is on the government's payroll, and suggests NASA is completely full of shit. There's also some moderate anti-Semitism and a bit of Holocaust denial thrown in for good measure. Thanks, B.o.b. Horrible. And that's our list. What weird conspiracy theories would you write songs about? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. I've been Ash, and this has been WhatCulture Music. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and don your lizard skin coat so that the reptile people don't realise you're not one of them. Thanks for watching.